Story time! Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young woman who lived with her father on the outskirts of the kingdom. Her mother had passed away years ago, so his father got married again. One day, his father went on a business trip and never came back. Unfortunately, the young girl was left under the care of her stepmother, who was a cruel and mean woman. She had two daughters that were just like her. They dressed her in old, torn clothes. They made her do all the housework. She was always sweeping, mopping, and doing the dishes. When she cleaned the fireplace, she used to get dirty with the cinders, so they called her Cinderella. But she never complained. She enjoyed her chores while singing with the birds and playing with the mice. One day, her stepsisters returned from their morning walk screaming with excitement. They ran to the kitchen, where their mother was drinking tea and Cinderella was sweeping. "Mom, the king is hosting a ball so the prince can choose his future wife." Cinderella's face lit up. She wanted to go to the ball with her stepsisters, but her stepmother told her she wasn't invited, and that it would be one of her daughters that would marry the prince. The day of the ball, Cinderella helped them get dressed, get their makeup and hair done. Before they left, her stepsisters made fun of her once more. "Too bad you can't come. With those old clothes and dirty cheeks, they wouldn't let you in." When they left, poor Cinderella ran to the garden and started crying. In front of her appeared a fairy godmother, in a silver dress and with a golden wand. "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" "I want to go to the king's ball, but my stepmother forbade it." The fairy godmother smiled, and with a wave of her wand made appear a beautiful dress out of thin air. It was blue as the sky and shiny as a diamond. Cinderella watched it in awe, and in a blink of an eye, she had it on. Her hair was tied up with a blue bow. The young girl still needed a means of transportation, so, with another wave of her magic wand, she transformed a pumpkin into a golden carriage and transformed a mouse into a human being, so he would be the driver. Now Cinderella was ready for the ball, but the fairy godmother warned her, "You must come back home before midnight. After 12 o'clock, the spell will break." When Cinderella arrived at the palace, the guests turned to see her, impressed by her beauty. The prince approached her and with a bow invited her to dance. They had a wonderful evening. The king watched the couple from his throne, happy with his son's decision. Cinderella's stepsisters looked at her with envy, but they didn't recognize her, accustomed to seeing her with her work clothes. Time passed without Cinderella noticing. Suddenly, she heard chimes announcing midnight. She ran out of the palace so fast that she lost her glass slipper. The prince followed her, but couldn't reach her. On the stairs, he found the slipper, his only clue to find her, since she never told him her name. The next day, the prince sent a servant of the kingdom in search of the mysterious young woman who had stolen his heart. His task was to visit the houses of the women of the kingdom and try them the slipper, but he hadn't been lucky so far. He had almost given up hope of finding her until he arrived at Cinderella's house. The two stepsisters tried the slipper on in every possible way, but it didn't fit. Their feet were too big. "Does any other woman live in this house?" asked the royal servant. Angrily, the stepmother said no. Cinderella entered the room and said, "The slipper is mine." "Of course not. You didn't even go to the ball." Cinderella ignored her stepmother and sat on the couch. She stretched out her leg and the servant verified that she was actually the owner. Her stepsisters started to cry and her stepmother turned red with anger. A month later, the prince and Cinderella got married and lived happily ever after.